Ilona Kovacs stands in her family's vineyard at 3:14 a.m. with pruning shears in one hand and her engagement ring in the other, and she cannot remember which one she's supposed to drop. The ring is gold. Thin band. Small diamond. Mate bought it with 3 months' salary from the auto repair shop. It cost 180,000 forints. He told her the exact amount when he proposed, voice proud and terrified, as if the number itself was proof of love. The shears are her grandfather's. 50 years old. Handle worn smooth. Blade sharp enough to cut through wood. Through vine. Through the future her family has planned for her since she was born. She's been standing here for 20 minutes. The September air is cold. The vines rustle. Above her, stars she doesn't have names for. Around her, 10 hectares of ferment grapes that have been in her family for 4 generations. Her great-grandfather planted the first vines in 1952. Her grandfather expanded them in 1978. Her father modernized the operation in 2003. And Ilona, 22 years old, the only child, the heir to everything, is supposed to marry mate in 3 weeks and continue the legacy. Except she doesn't want to. Or maybe she does. Or maybe she doesn't know what she wants, and that's the problem. The ring catches moonlight. The shears are dull silver in the dark. She could throw the ring into the vines. Let it disappear into the soil. Claim she lost it. That would buy her time. Or she could throw the shears. Symbolic. Dramatic. Probably stupid. She does neither. She stands there, paralyzed, while the village of Tarkal sleeps around her, 200 souls who all know her name, her family, her future. Who've been planning her wedding since she was 12. Who'll talk about her for years if she doesn't go through with it. That's when she sees the cat. Gray. Sitting on a fence post between the rows of vines. Looking at her with eyes that reflect the moon like coins. Fuck! Ilona whispers in Hungarian. Then in English, because swearing in English feels safer. Fuck! The cat doesn't move. Ilona looks at the ring. At the shears. At the cat. Which one? She asks. Which one do I drop? The cat tilts its head. And Ilona knows, somehow knows, that this is the question. Not which object to throw away. Which future to choose. Which version of herself to become. And she has no idea. Hungary. Tokaj wine region. September. The air smells like grapes and coming rain and 1,000 years of tradition pressing down like atmosphere. Ilona Kovacs. 22 years old. Only child. Heir to Kovacs Vineyards, small operation, 10 hectares, family run, respected locally. Good wine. Not great. But honest. Her father, Joseph, is 57. Her mother, Esther, is 53. They married at 20. Had Ilona at 31 after years of trying. She's their miracle. Their purpose. Their entire future. And she's suffocating. The village, Tarkal, population 200, everyone related somehow, has been planning Ilona's life since she was born. Good grades in school. Help in the vineyard. Modest dress. Church every Sunday. And when the time came, marriage. To a good Hungarian boy. Someone local. Someone who understands the land. Enter mate Horvath. 25 years old. Auto mechanic. Works at his uncle's garage in the next village. Nice guy. Handsome in that quiet, steady way. Doesn't drink too much. Doesn't gamble. Goes to church. Loves Ilona. Or says he does. Hard to tell the difference sometimes between love and inevitability. They'd been dating for 3 years. Since Ilona was 19. He proposed 6 months ago. She said yes. Not because she wanted to. Because everyone expected it. Because saying no would mean explaining what she wanted instead. And she doesn't know. That's the terrifying part. She doesn't know. The wedding is in 3 weeks. Saturday, September 28th. The whole village will attend. Ilona's mother has been sewing her dress since March. Her father ordered 400 liters of wine for the reception. The priest has been practicing the ceremony. Everything is arranged. Except Ilona keeps having panic attacks in the vineyard at 3 a.m. Tonight it's bad enough that she brought her grandfather's shears. Brought her engagement ring. Came out here to make a choice. But here's what she doesn't understand yet. The choice isn't between mate and freedom. It's between who she is and who everyone needs her to be. And I'm here to help her figure out which one matters more. 14 hours before the vineyard. Ilona sits at the family dinner table. Same table her grandmother died at. Same table her parents were married at. Same table where every important conversation in 4 generations has happened, and her mother says, "I added lace to the sleeves. Very traditional. Very elegant. You'll look like a proper bride." Ilona stares at her plate. Chicken paprikash. Too much paprika. Her tongue burns. Her father says, "Mate stopped by the vineyard today. Asked about the harvest schedule. Good boy. Already thinking like family." Ilona cuts her chicken. The knife scrapes the plate. Too loud in the quiet kitchen. "He wants to know if you'll help his uncle with the garage books." Her mother continues. "After the wedding. Said you're good with numbers. It would be nice income. Between the vineyard and the garage, you'll be comfortable." Comfortable. The word sits in Ilona's chest like a stone. "I was thinking," Ilona says. Voice careful. Testing. "I might apply to university. In Budapest. There's a program in oenology. Wine science. It would help the vineyard. Make us more competitive." Silence. Her father sets down his fork. "Budapest. Just for 3 years. I could come home on weekends. Help with. You're getting married in 3 weeks." Her mother interrupts. Voice sharp. "This isn't the time for fantasies. It's not a fantasy. It's education. It's running away," her father says. Not angry. Worse. Disappointed. Budapest. University. These are excuses, Ilona. You're scared of commitment. Of growing up. But marriage is part of life. You can't run from it forever. I'm 22. Your mother was 20 when we married. My mother was 19. This is how it's done. You marry young. Build a life. Have children while you're still healthy. Wait too long and... He stops. Doesn't finish. Doesn't need to. Ilona knows what he means. Her mother's fertility struggles. The years of trying. The miscarriages. The whispers in the village about Esther Kovacs, the woman who couldn't give her husband a child until she was too old. Mate is a good man, her mother says. Softer now. He loves you. He'll take care of you. What more do you want? Ilona opens her mouth. Closes it. Because the answer is, I don't know. And that feels like failure. After dinner, she goes to the vineyard. To the rows her great-grandfather planted. And she prunes vines that don't need pruning because she needs to do something with her hands. Her phone buzzes. Text from mate. Can't wait to marry you. 3 weeks. She stares at the heart emoji. Feels nothing. Feels everything. Feels like she's drowning. She texts back. Me too. And hates herself for lying. The cat jumps from the fence post. Lands softly on the earth between vine rows. Walks toward Ilona. No hesitation. Like it owns the place. Ilona watches it approach. She's still holding the ring. Still holding the shears. You shouldn't be here, she says in Hungarian. Then remembers cats don't speak Hungarian. Or any language. This is private property. Kovacs family. 4 generations. We grow ferment. Make tokaji wine. Very traditional. Very. She stops. Realizes she's explaining her family history to a cat at 3 a.m. I'm losing my mind. The cat sits at her feet. Looks up. Waiting. Ilona sinks to the ground. The earth is cool. Damp from yesterday's rain. She sets down the shears. Keeps holding the ring. The cat moves closer. Settles beside her. Warm. I'm supposed to get married, Ilona says. In 3 weeks. To Mate. He's nice. He really is. He works hard. He's kind. He wants children. He wants to live in Tarkal. He wants. She stops. Swallows. He wants everything I'm supposed to want. The cat's tail swishes. My mother says I'm lucky. Says good men are rare. Says I should be grateful. And I am. I am grateful. But, her voice breaks. But when I think about the wedding, I can't breathe. When I think about living in Tarkal forever, working in the vineyard, having babies, being someone's wife, I panic. She looks at the ring. The small diamond. The thin gold band. He saved for this. 3 months of salary. He was so proud when he gave it to me. Got down on one knee. In front of my parents. In front of his family. Everyone clapping. Everyone crying. Everyone so happy. The cat presses against her leg. And I said yes. Because how do you say no when everyone's watching? When your mother is crying with joy? When your father is shaking his hand? When the whole village has been waiting for this since you were 15? She's crying now. Silent tears that fall onto the ring, onto her hands, onto the earth. Everyone says I'm lucky. 22 and engaged to a good man. But I don't feel lucky. I feel trapped. And I don't know if I'm trapped by the engagement or by my own inability to know what I want. The cat climbs into her lap. Heavy. Real. Warm. When I was little, Ilona says, stroking the cat's head, I wanted to be a winemaker. Like my grandfather. He'd take me to the cellar. Show me the barrels. Teach me to taste. He said I had the nose for it. The palate. He said someday this would all be mine and I'd make wine that people remembered. She looks at the vines around her. Shadows and moonlight. Generations of work. He died when I was 16. Heart attack. In the vineyard. Right there. She points to a row 20 meters away. My father found him. Face down in the dirt. Shears still in his hand. The cat pulls back. Looks at her directly. All of the above, Ilona admits. I'm not sure about any of it. And that makes me a terrible person. Mate deserves someone who's certain. My parents deserve a daughter who's grateful. This vineyard deserves someone who wants to be here. She looks at the ring again. Then at the shears. So which do I drop? If I drop the ring, I lose Mate. My family. This village. Everything I've ever known. If I drop the shears, I lose. She pauses. Realizes. I lose myself. The version of me that wanted more. The cat stands in her lap. Places both paws on her chest. Right over her heart. What? Ilona asks. The cat stares. You think I already know the answer, she says. Voice shaking. You think I'm just too scared to admit it. The cat doesn't move. Okay. Okay. Ilona takes a breath. The truth. The real truth. Not the version I tell my parents or Mate or myself. The truth. She closes her eyes. I don't love Mate. Not the way I'm supposed to. I care about him. I don't want him hurt. But I don't love him. When I think about spending the next 50 years with him, I feel nothing. No excitement. No joy. Just resignation. The tears come harder now. And this vineyard. This village. This life. It's beautiful. It's stable. It's what thousands of women would choose. But it's not what I want. I want to study wine. I want to travel. I want to see other vineyards, other countries, other ways of making wine. I want to be Ilona Kovacs the winemaker, not Ilona Kovacs who married Mate and had babies and tended vines and disappeared. She opens her eyes. But if I say that, if I call off the wedding, everyone will hate me. My parents will be devastated. Mate will be humiliated. The village will talk about me for decades. I'll be the girl who broke a good man's heart. Who was too proud. Too selfish. Who wanted too much? The cat meows. Loud. Insistent. I know, Ilona says. I know it's my life. I know I have to choose myself. I know all the things you're supposed to know. But knowing doesn't make it easier. Knowing doesn't make my mother stop crying. Knowing doesn't make my father stop looking at me like I've failed him. The cat climbs up her chest, touches her face with its paw. Gentle but firm. And Ilona hears it. Not the cat's voice. Her own voice. The one she's been ignoring for 3 years. You're 22. This isn't your last chance. It's barely your first choice. But what if I regret it? She whispers. What if I leave and fail? What if I go to Budapest and can't make it? What if I'm alone forever? What if this was my one chance at a normal life and I threw it away? The cat presses its forehead against hers. What if you stay and spend the next 50 years wondering? Ilona sits very still. The vineyard rustles around her. The stars wheel overhead. The earth holds her weight. I can't marry him, she says. Out loud. To the cat. To the vines. To herself. I can't do it. Even if it means losing everything. Even if it means starting over. I can't marry someone I don't love just because it's expected. The cat purrs. Approval or just warmth, impossible to say. Oh God. Ilona's voice shakes. Oh God, I have to call off the wedding. The reality crashes down. The dress. The wine. The guests. The money. The plans. 3 weeks away. How do I tell them? She asks the cat. How do I tell mate? My parents? Everyone? The cat jumps from her lap. Walks a few steps. Stops. Looks back. As if to say, one step at a time. But you start by standing up. Ilona doesn't sleep. At 6 a.m. she walks back to the farmhouse. Her parents are awake. Always awake early. Farm life. Her mother is making coffee. Her father is reading the newspaper. Normal morning. Last normal morning. Anya, Ilona says. Voice shaking. Appa. I need to talk to you. They look up. See her face. Know immediately something is wrong. Sit, her father says. Ilona sits. The cat is gone. She's alone now. Completely alone. I can't marry mate. Silence. The coffee pot gurgles. Outside, a rooster crows. What? Her mother says. Voice very quiet. I can't marry him. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I can't. Her father sets down the newspaper. Cold feet. It's normal. Every bride feels. It's not cold feet. It's. Ilona struggles for words. I don't love him. I thought I could. I tried. But I don't. And I can't marry someone I don't love just because it's what everyone expects. Her mother's face goes pale. Ilona. The wedding is in 3 weeks. Everything is arranged. The dress. The food. The guests. The priest. We've spent. I know. I know how much you've spent. I'll pay you back. Somehow. I'll work. This isn't about money. Her mother's voice cracks. This is about you humiliating this family. Humiliating mate. What will people say? I don't care what people say. You should care. Her father stands. Angry now. Really angry. This isn't just about you, Ilona. This is about our reputation. Our place in this village. Mate's family. Their honor. You don't call off a wedding 3 weeks before because you're not sure. I am sure. I'm sure I don't want to marry him. Then what do you want? Her mother asks. Desperate. What could possibly be more important than a good husband? A stable life? This vineyard? I want to go to university. Study wine. Learn. University. Her father spits the word. You want to throw away a marriage for university? You're 22, Ilona. You're not a child anymore. It's time to grow up. Take responsibility. Be a woman. I am a woman. That's why I'm making this choice. Her mother is crying now. You're destroying us. Everything we've built. Everything we've sacrificed. For what? Some fantasy about Budapest? About being special? You're not special, Ilona. You're just like everyone else. And the sooner you accept that, the happier you'll be. The words hit like a slap. I'm sorry, Ilona whispers. I'm so sorry. But I can't live my life to make you happy. I can't marry someone to protect your reputation. I have to choose myself. Then you're choosing alone, her father says. Voice cold. Final. If you call off this wedding, you're on your own. No support. No help. No vineyard. You want Budapest? Fine. Go to Budapest. See how long you last without family. Without money. Without us. Ilona stands. Shaking. Okay. Okay? Her mother looks at her like she's a stranger. That's all you have to say? Okay? What do you want me to say? That I'll marry him anyway? Spend the next 50 years miserable? Have his children? Tend these vines? Pretend I'm happy? Yes. Her mother shouts. Yes. That's what women do. That's what I did. You think I was happy every day? You think marriage is about happiness? It's about commitment. Family. Duty. You're too young to understand that. Maybe I am, Ilona says. But I'd rather be young and honest than old and regretful. She walks to the door. If you leave this house, her father says, don't come back. Ilona stops. Hand on the doorknob. Turns. I love you both. She says. I'm sorry I'm not the daughter you wanted. But I can't be her. Not anymore. She walks out. The morning is bright. Too bright. The vineyard stretches around her. 4 generations. Her inheritance. Her prison. She keeps walking. Mate is at his uncle's garage. Ilona drives there in her father's old truck. No, not her father's anymore. Not after today. He's under a car when she arrives. She can see his legs. His work boots. He slides out when he hears her voice. Ilona. His face lights up. What are you doing here? I thought you were helping with the harvest today. I need to talk to you. His smile fades. He knows. Somehow he knows. They sit in his uncle's office. Small room. Smells like oil and coffee. Mate's hands are dirty. He keeps wiping them on his coveralls. Nervous. I can't marry you, Ilona says. Direct. Clean. Like cutting a vine. He stares. What? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I can't do it. I don't. She stops. Starts again. I don't love you the way I should. The way you deserve. And it's not fair to either of us to pretend I do. His face goes through emotions. Confusion. Hurt. Anger. Settles on hurt. 3 weeks, he says. Voice thick. 3 weeks before the wedding. You waited until 3 weeks. I know. I'm a coward. I should have said something sooner. Should have been honest. But I kept thinking maybe I'd change. Maybe I'd feel different. Maybe you'd learn to love me? His voice is bitter. That's what you're saying? That you've been pretending this whole time? Not pretending. Trying. There's a difference. Not to me there isn't. He stands. Paces. My family. God, my family. My mother has been planning this wedding for months. My uncle closed the garage for the day. My cousins are coming from Budapest. Everyone. I know. I'll tell them. I'll take responsibility. You don't have to. Don't. He spins to face her. Don't make this about being noble. You're breaking my heart. You're humiliating me. You're destroying everything. Don't pretend you're doing me a favor. Ilona's eyes fill. You're right. I'm being selfish. I'm hurting you. I'm hurting everyone. But I can't marry you, mate. Even if it makes me the villain. I can't. He looks at her. Really looks. Why? Because I want different things. University. Wine school. A life beyond Tarkal. And you want to stay here. Build a life here. Have children here. There's nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful. But it's not what I want. And you couldn't figure that out before you said yes? Before I bought a ring? Before we planned a wedding? I was scared. I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know. She stops. Honest. Finally honest. I didn't know myself well enough to know what I wanted. But I know now. And I'm sorry it took so long. I'm sorry I hurt you. But I can't marry you. Mate sits. Puts his head in his hands. They sit in silence for a long time. Finally he says, I do love you. Really love you. Not just because it's expected. I thought. His voice breaks. I thought we'd have a life together. Thought we'd be happy. We might have been, Ilona says. In a different life. Where I was different. But in this life, with who I actually am, we wouldn't. And you deserve someone who's sure. Who wants what you want. Who loves you without doubt. He doesn't respond. Ilona stands. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She leaves. Mate doesn't follow. In the truck she sits. Hands on the wheel. Unable to drive. The enormity of what she's done crashes over her. No wedding. No family. No home. No plan. Just her. Alone. Free. Terrified. She starts the engine. The village talks. Of course the village talks. Ilona Kovacs called off the wedding. 3 weeks before. Can you imagine? Poor mate. Such a good boy. What did he do to deserve this? She thinks she's too good for us. Always did. Now she'll see what the world is really like. Her poor parents. The shame. Ilona moves to Budapest. Borrows money from her mother's sister, the only family member still speaking to her. Rents a tiny flat in District 8. Applies to the wine program at Corvinus University. Gets in. Starts classes. Works 3 part-time jobs. Waitress. Tutor. Retail. Barely sleeps. Barely eats. Lives on bread and cheese and determination. Cries herself to sleep most nights. Her parents don't call. Don't answer when she calls them. Complete silence. Mate blocks her number. The village forgets her. Or pretends to. But slowly, so slowly, something shifts. She learns. About wine chemistry. Terroir. Viticulture techniques from around the world. She studies harder than anyone in her program. Stays late in the lab. Asks questions. Absorbs everything. She makes one friend. Then another. Study partners. Then real friends. People who don't know about the cancelled wedding. Don't know about Tarkal. Just know Ilona, smart, driven, obsessed with wine. She works a harvest in Villani. Then in Ager. Then, through a professor's connection, in Bordeaux for 3 months. Returns to Budapest different. Stronger. More certain. By year 2, she's the top student in her program. Wins a scholarship. Quits 2 of her 3 jobs. By year 3, she has internship offers from wineries across Europe. And one day, 2 years and 8 months after she called off the wedding, her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. Ilona? Her father's voice. She hasn't heard it in so long. Appa? Silence. Then, your mother is sick. Cancer. Pancreatic. The doctors say. His voice breaks. They say maybe 6 months. She wants to see you. Ilona's world tilts. I'm coming, she says. I'm coming home. The farmhouse looks smaller. Or maybe she's just bigger. Ilona parks the rental car. She has a driver's license now, one of many things she learned in Budapest, and walks to the door. Her father opens it before she knocks. They look at each other. "Thank you for coming," he says. Formal. Distant. Of course. Inside, everything is the same. The table. The kitchen. The smell of paprika and old wood. Her mother is in bed. Thin. So thin. But her eyes are bright when Ilona enters. "Ilona." "Anya." Ilona sits. Takes her hand. "I'm here." They talk. Not about the wedding. Not about the past. Just talk. About the vineyard. The village. Small things. Safe things. Then her mother says, "I was wrong." Ilona stops breathing. "When you left, I said terrible things. I was angry. Scared. I thought you were destroying your life. But I see now." She coughs. "I see you were saving it. Anya. Let me finish. Please." Her mother squeezes her hand. "You were braver than I was. I married your father because it's what everyone expected. And I love him. I do. But sometimes I wonder who I might have been if I'd chosen differently. If I'd been brave like you." Ilona is crying now. "I'm proud of you," her mother whispers. "I should have said it 3 years ago. But I'm saying it now. I'm proud of you, Ilona. For knowing what you wanted. For having the courage to choose it." They cry together. Her father comes in later. Sits. Says nothing for a long time. Then, "The vineyard needs help. The harvest. I can't manage it alone this year. Your mother usually helps. But," he stops. "I'll stay," Ilona says. "As long as you need me. I need you to come back," he says. Voice rough. "Not forever. I know you have your life in Budapest. But maybe you could consult. Help us modernize. You know things now. Things I don't know. Things the vineyard needs." Ilona stares. "You want my help? I want my daughter back. However she'll come." Ilona stays for the harvest. Works the vines she grew up in. But differently now. With knowledge. With perspective. She introduces new techniques. Biodynamic practices. Better fermentation control. Her father is skeptical at first. Then impressed. The wine that year is the best the vineyard has ever produced. Her mother lives longer than the doctors predict. 8 months. 10 months. A year. Ilona visits every weekend. They talk. Really talk. About dreams. Regrets. Choices. When her mother dies, it's peaceful. In her sleep. In the farmhouse where she lived her entire adult life. The funeral is huge. The whole village comes. Including mate. He's with someone. A young woman from the next village. They look happy. He and Ilona make eye contact across the cemetery. He nods. Small. Respectful. She nods back. No words. Don't need them. After the funeral, Ilona's father says, "Stay. Not forever. But for a while. Help me figure out what to do with the vineyard." So she does. She stays for 3 months. Works with her father. They redesign the operation. She applies her education. He provides the experience. They become partners. Real partners. And one morning, in the vineyard, she sees the cat again. Gray. Sitting on a fence post. Same place as 3 years ago. Ilona walks over. Sits beside it. "You came back," she says. The cat blinks slowly. "I did it. What I knew I had to do. It was hard. So hard. But I did it." The cat purrs. "I lost a lot. My family for a while. Mate. This village. My sense of who I was. But I found something too. Myself. My voice. My path." She looks at the vines. At the farmhouse. at the land that shaped her. I'm going back to Budapest next week. I have a job offer in Bordeaux. Assistant winemaker. It's what I always wanted. But I'll come back. To visit. To help. To be part of this. She pauses. On my terms. The cat climbs into her lap. Thank you, Ilona whispers. For witnessing. For being there when I needed to make the hardest choice of my life. The cat presses against her. Warm. Real. Then jumps down. Walks away into the vines. Ilona watches it go. And feels, for the first time, complete peace. Ilona will take the job in Bordeaux. We'll spend 5 years there. We'll become one of the youngest head winemakers in the region. She'll date. Casually. We'll meet someone eventually. A sommelier from Lyon. They'll bond over wine and late-night conversations. We'll build something real. Something chosen. She'll return to the vineyard twice a year. We'll help her father transition to organic practices. We'll modernize the operation. The Kovacs wine will gain recognition. Awards. Export contracts. Her father will cry the first time their wine wins a medal at an international competition. We'll hug Ilona. We'll whisper. Your grandfather would be proud. She'll never marry. Not because she's against it. Just because it never becomes the point. Her life fills with other things. Work. Travel. Friends. Family, rebuilt, redefined real. At 35, she'll buy her own small vineyard in Alsace. We'll name the first vintage, Maiden, for the girl she was at 22, standing in the dark with a ring and shears, trying to choose. And on the label, subtle in the corner, a gray cat sitting on a fence post. Because some visitors stay forever, even after they leave. The maiden archetype is about the threshold. The moment before transformation. The terror of not knowing what you want while everyone else seems certain. It's about permission, to be uncertain, to change your mind, to choose yourself even when it disappoints everyone you love. Ilona was never trapped by the wedding. She was trapped by the belief that she should want it. That certainty was a prerequisite for choice. That not knowing what she wanted was the same as being lost. The cat didn't tell her what to choose. The cat just witnessed her choosing. Held space for her uncertainty. Let her say the truth out loud. Sometimes that's all we need. Not answers. Just someone, or something, to sit with us in the dark while we figure out which future is actually ours. The vineyard will still be there in 50 years. The vines will still grow. The wine will still ferment. But Ilona Kovacs, 22 years old, standing at 3 a.m. with her whole life ahead of her, that girl only exists once. And she chose herself. That's the story. That's always the story. The end. P.S. For anyone standing in their own vineyard at 3 a.m., holding their own ring and shears, you don't have to know what you want. You just have to know what you don't want. Start there. The rest comes later. And if a gray cat shows up? Listen.